Hello guys, welcome to Ekascloud. This video is about elastic file system regional replication. Once after watching this video, if you have any queries, you can ask via our Telegram group. I have attached the link in the description of this video. Even though this video is about replication, I'm going to build everything from scratch. First of all, I'm going to launch an EC2 instance with Apache Web Server. I'm going to do that in AP South 1 region in the default VPC. I don't have any instances as of now. I click on launch instances. I'll go with Linux web server Mumbai. I go with Amazon Linux. I go with T2 Micro, free tier eligible. I'll choose this key pair. I'm placing the instance in the default VPC. We can place it in any availability zone. But just to match with this drawing, I'm just putting it on a subnet which is in AP South 1A. And I need public IP address to connect to it. And I can choose an existing security group. I have a security group called AWS class Mumbai-SG. This security group already allows SSH and HTTP protocol. At the time of launching, I'll go to the user data section. And I'll add the commands to configure Apache. I'll say yum install HTTPD. I'll use systemctl start HTTPD and systemctl enable HTTPD. I'm not placing any website in the default path. I'm just installing the software and starting the service within this Linux system. I'll click on launch instance. Once after this instance is launched, I'll select this instance. I'll click on connect. Because it is Amazon Linux, I'll connect via EC2 instance connect. And I'll use systemctl status HTTPD to check whether HTTPD service is running. And if I look into /var www.html, I don't have any website content. Now I'm going to create an elastic file system, and I'm going to attach that file system to the Apache's website folder /var www.html. Elastic file system is a fully managed network file system in AWS Cloud. We can attach that to multiple EC2 instances in single availability zone or on multiple availability zone. Now I'll create this elastic file system in AP South 1 region. I'll search for EFS. and I don't have any Elastic file system in Mumbai, I'll click on create file system. I'll click on customize. I go with the name called demo Elastic file system. I'll choose regional. Not changing any other parameters because my aim is to mainly explain about replication. I'll choose the default VPC in Mumbai, and this Elastic file systems security group should also allow NFS protocol. Only then from EC2 instance we'll be able to connect to the Elastic file system. So we need to map a security group which has NFS allowed. Again, I'm mapping AWS class Mumbai-SG. This security group has NFS protocol allowed already. So I go next. I'm not changing any file system policies in third step. I'll again go next. I'll click on create file system. Now a file system got created in AP South 1 and it is available to all the subnets in all availability zone. Now I'm going to attach this share directory to this application directory /var www.html. Once I'll show you the security group, because the security group which I mapped for this instance and to the Elastic file system is same, and I have added the rules earlier before I am giving this demo. If I go inside the security group, you can see this security group has NFS allowed. Because of that, now if I go inside this Elastic file, I click on attach. We can copy the NFS client mounting command, mount via DNS, or we can copy the mount via IP option. Copy the command, go back to your Linux instance, paste the command, and just change EFS with your application directory, which is /var www.html in my case. Now it is attached. If I use df-ht pipe grep NFS, I will be able to see the EFS share is now attached to /var www.html. Now whatever saved within /var www.html will be stored in Elastic file system storage. If you have multiple other EC2 instances in the same region, either even in a different availability zone, you will be able to attach the same share even to that instance. But I'm not doing that. My aim is to show you the replication. So I'm going to now replicate this file system to a different AWS region. Before I do the replication, I'll just create a file within /var www.html. Because once it is replicated, we'll be able to see the same file in a different region. So I'll create a file called index.html and I'll say web page created in Mumbai region. And I save that. Now if I even copy the public IP address or the public DNS name of this instance, and if I try accessing the page, I will be able to see the page. Now to do the replication, we need to go to Elastic file system and there is a section called replication. And it's very simple to create a replication. Now, before I create the replication, I'll go to Elastic File System of Singapore region in a new tab. And I'll show you that I don't have any Elastic file systems there. Now from Mumbai region, I click on Create Replication. I choose the destination region as Singapore. I'll go with regional, which means this replication is going to be regional in Singapore, as well as it is available in multiple availability zone in Singapore region. I don't have any KMS keys to encrypt it, so I'll leave that and I'll just click on Create Replication. It says your replication is being created. And you can see the replication state, it's enabling. And from this file system, it is getting replicated to this file system. Now, if I go back to Singapore region and if I refresh, we will be able to see a new file system getting created in Singapore. And once it is created, it will also start synchronizing the data from Mumbai region to Singapore region. I have waited for a few seconds and then it says it is synchronized at this time. And the replication is now created in a different region. But this replicated file system is by default read only. But this original file system is read write, which means we will be able to read and write via /var www.html in this instance. But if we launch an instance in Singapore region and it is going to be only read only. Now I'm going to launch an instance in Singapore region and I'm going to attach this file system there. But by default, the replicated file system will not have mount targets. So you'll not be able to mount to any instances in a different region. So we need to create mount targets ourselves in Singapore region. So I go to Singapore region. I go inside the file system. It says here itself, it is read only. And if I scroll down and if I click on network, you don't see any mount targets. So click on create mount target and click on add mount target. If you want, you can create mount target in all the three availability zone, but I'll do it in AP South 1A. And here as well, we need a security group which allows NFS. I'm mapping an existing security group called AWS class Singapore-SG. And this security group should have NFS protocol allowed. Only then instances in a different region will be able to connect to that file system. I'll click on save. Once after I do this, I will be able to click on attach and get the attach command. We can again attach via the DNS name or via the IP address. I go to mount via IP address. I select the mount target. I need to refresh it. Click on attach. Click on mount via IP and you can see the availability zone. I click on copy this. I need to paste this command in the instance in Singapore region, but I don't have any instances running in Singapore. So I'll launch one instance and then I'll attach. I'll just make sure the security group has NFS allowed. It's there already. So I'll go to instances. I'll click on launch instance. I'll give the name as Linux Web Server Singapore. Again, I go with Amazon Linux, T2 Micro. I have a key already. I go with the default VPC and I choose the subnet in first availability zone. I'm mapping an existing security group which has SSH, HTTP, hello. And I'm going to make this server as well as a Apache web server with basic software installation and service management. I'll say yum install httpd systemctl start httpd systemctl enable httpd, and then I'll click on launch instance, because once this instance is ready, this /var www.html directory will be an empty directory. I'm going to attach this file system to this instance. Once after I attach this file system to this instance /var www.html, I will be able to see what I created in Mumbai region, because this got already replicated to Singapore region, and you'll be able to see the data. Now I'm launching the instance, and I'll wait for a few seconds for this instance to come to running. Once the instance is 2/2 check passed, I will connect to this instance. And here as well, if I look into /var www, I think I made some mistake in the user data of the Singapore instance. I'll myself install HTTPD software, and I'll start HTTPD, and I'll enable HTTPD. Now if I check the status of HTTPD, you can see HTTPD service is running. And now if I look into /var www.html, I don't see any folders, files, because this file system is not attached, or I have not created anything inside it. So now I'll attach this read-only file system to this /var www.html of this instance. So I go to EFS of Singapore, I copy this command, and I'll come back to the Singapore region instance, and I'll replace EFS with the application directory /var www.html. Once I do that, and if I again use ls /var www.html, I will be able to see the index.html. I haven't created anything in this file system, but this index.html which you are seeing is actually replicated from Mumbai region, and the index.html file contains the text web page created in Mumbai. Let's now use cat command on it. You can see it says web page created in Mumbai region as the content. And moreover, it is a read-only file system. So if you try even using sudo on /var www.html index.html, it says it's read-only. Now let's say if I change something in Mumbai region instance /var www.html, because it is an elastic file system share, it will change the content in this file system, as well as it will replicate it to Singapore region. So you will be able to see the change even in the Singapore instance. Now let's try this. So I go to EC2 instance of Mumbai. Because it's a read-write share, I'll edit this page and I'll say I just add a content called replication. I didn't made any change in the Singapore instance. If I use cat on /var www.html text.html, still it has the old page, but it will get replicated. If I go to EFS, it says the last synchronization was little earlier, but it will again do the synchronization. At that time, you will be able to see the content on Singapore region as well. If you look into the official documentation of Amazon, you'll see EFS automatically keeps the source and destination file system synchronized. But it has recovery point objective and recovery time objective of minutes. After waiting for a very long time, I can see the replication. Amazon says mostly the replication will happen within 15 minutes. Sometimes if it is having more than 100 million files or the files larger than 100 GB, it may take more than 15 minutes. Okay. So the content which I edited via the server, whatever change I made in the instance in Mumbai, because it is stored that in the elastic file system and it is getting replicated to a different region, this can be used as a disaster recovery setup. It's not very live, it's taking time, but at the time of a regional disaster, let's say if Mumbai is not available, if you want to make instances accessing the file system, which is in Singapore, you will be able to do. As of now, this file system is read-only. If we want to make this as read-write, we need to delete the file system in Mumbai. If I go to Elastic File System of Mumbai, and if I delete this replication, the file system in Singapore will be made as read-write file system. I'll click on delete replication. And I'll type delete. Once I delete the replication, the file system in Singapore will be made read-write, but it will take a few minutes again. You need to wait for this. Once after the replication is deleted, now if I go back to instance in Singapore, and this file system will become read-write. Earlier you saw read-only. Now you will be able to add content here. Because I deleted the replication, no more replication is going to happen between Mumbai and Singapore. This will work like a standalone file system, and this is going to work again as a standalone file system with read-write permission. Finally, to do the cleanup, I'm going to delete this file system as well as this file system. I'll also terminate both the EC2 instances. I have deleted the file system in Singapore. I'll also delete the file system in Mumbai. I'll terminate the instance in Mumbai. Finally, I'll terminate the instance in Singapore as well.